The following is a fourth-hand production.
What? No! You suck! Oh my God!
Hello, everybody out there in listening town, listening world. Welcome back to What the Suck. This is the Easter holiday special. I am Chris.
And I'm James. What's up, you Easter egg eating bitches?
That's right. Eat all that fucking chocolate, eat all them eggs, and then get fat and get diabetes. That's right. That's happy fucking Easter. That's what the Lord died for.
Yeah,
you get fat and get diabetes.
I'm gonna do some basket snatching down at the church.
That's right, little bastard kids. They don't get shit. All right, so yes, if you can't tell by now, we're doing a special Easter holiday themed episode.
It's actually our first one.
Yeah,
because when we started last year, we didn't start in time to catch Easter last year.
Sure didn't.
This is our first one, so
yeah,
season 2. Yeah,
and it seems like a very weird holiday to make a special of for a podcast about horror movies.
But
do
we have a treat for them today, buddy?
Man, so we did a quick search because we were like, look, okay, we did a Halloween special. That's easy to do because
absolutely,
there's a ton of Halloween themed
tons
movies.
Of Halloween shit.
We did a Christmas special because again, there are a ton of Christmas themed
of killer snowmen and killer
Santa
Claus.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we were like, you know what, Easter's coming up. Let's take a look. Let's do a search. If there are any Easter themed horror movies, let's do an episode. And we did a search, and boy oh boy, were there a shit ton. But
unbelievably, yes.
Yeah. Now, the only thing though was that all except for maybe 3 that I saw had to do with a psychopath dressed up as a bunny killing people.
Of course.
Which, okay, yeah, that's great, but we don't want that.
Who cares?
We get that all the time.
We need something extra stupid.
We do.
For this show, it's got to be extra stupid. It can't just be some jackass running around in a suit. We got a good one.
So today's Easter episode special movie is called Beaster Day.
Yes, and this motherfucker here looks like a cross between a T-Rex, an armadillo,
and a rat.
And some asshole wearing a fur coat.
Now, if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, if you have Amazon Prime, go to Amazon Prime, just look up Beaster Day, and there's a little preview shot on the side, and you'll see what it is he's talking about.
Yeah. So,
Beaster Day is a
mangy, fang-toothed critter.
It does not look like a rabbit at all.
No.
But, so it's a 2014 movie, comedy horror movie, directed by the Snide brothers, which I don't know who they are, and I do not fucking care. At least if
you're going to kill people on the Lord's weekend, you might as well make it funny, right?
That's right. Now, the alternate title for this movie is Beaster Day. Here comes Peter CottonHell.
Yes.
Which is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, and the rabbit on the front looks like the rabbit from Monty Python.
It does, but more insane. It looks like a cross between the rabbit from Monty Python and the what is it? ROUTS's.
Yes.
From Princess Bride.
The Rouse. That's right. Rodents of unusual size.
All right, so let's go over the cast real quick. We'll go over some of them, not all of them, because I don't fucking care. John Arthur as Hector, Christina Bodian as a reporter. That's a great name, reporter. Valerie Bittner as Mom.
Ho.
Autumn Bodell as the bride, as Allison Bodell.
Biatch.
Darian Kane as Lemonade Victim. He is 5th in line, which means we have no real actual characters in this fucking movie.
None.
Tom Sikorsky as Jake, and that's where I'm going to stop.
And the rest of the motherfuckers, who cares?
Who cares?
If they don't even have pictures of you on there, you don't need to be listed.
Look, there's not even a fucking Wikipedia on this motherfucker, so they don't even care enough to put one out.
It'll be on the post, folks.
So, budget was an estimated $150,000.
Holy shit.
An 87-minute running
time. And what year was this?
2014.
$150,000 in 24. Oh my God.
Yeah, so we're in for a treat here.
$150,000 wouldn't even buy lunch.
No.
On a major production.
It was filmed in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and here is what it's all about. Well, at least here's what the synopsis says. A giant bloodthirsty Easter bunny starts viciously killing the local townsfolk.
Absolutely.
When the mayor refuses, because there's always a Jaws mayor, to act when the mayor refuses to act and attacks grow more gruesome, the town finds its very survival in the hands of a wannabe actress and a crazy dog catcher.
Sweet.
Brilliant.
I just love
Brilliant. All right.
That sounds awesome.
All right. So for this Easter holiday special, we will go ahead and run down real quick our rating system.
Yes, we might as well go ahead. We'll give y'all a little treat because we haven't been doing that lately. No. We'll go ahead with the rating system.
James, you want to take that?
Indeed, I will, sir.
Go for it.
What it is, we use an inverted turd emoji scale.
Yes.
In other words, 1 turd means a good movie, 5 turds is a bad movie. So a general rundown would be like a one turd would be one you would keep in your queue.
Right.
Share with your friends, one of the good old classics. One we like to refer to as far as our show is concerned is like a Jack Frost or something like that.
Or a Hobgoblins.
Hobgoblins, yes. One of those ones that's just like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Yes.
2 turds, still good, but this is one you want to, do a drinking game, share with your friends still. 3 turds, yeah. You want to share more. You want to drink a lot more heavily.
Right.
4 turds, this is where you're starting to cross the threshold into shitdom.
Yeah.
Total shitdom.
This is one that you'll want to share with your friends, but you won't really want to watch it with them unless you really have nothing else to do.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Like right now.
As
a matter of fact, during the lockdown, this is a good time
to
time. Enjoy your favorite podcast. State
That's
of Fear,
right.
State of Fear, What to Suck. State of Fear, What to Suck.
Fourthhand.com. Fourthhand.com. And then the 5?
And then the 5. The Fica de la Mater. The top of the shit heap. The 5 turd. This is one where you're going to watch it once, maybe. So bad it's bad. These are the ones that are so horrible. I mean, it's like you need to be polluted when you watch it.
Yes.
And when you're done, you need to run outside into traffic or put your head between 2 cinder blocks and have your friends stomp on it.
Or smoke some good weed take some hard acid or something.
Bad weed. No, you need bad weed.
Take bad
for
weed.
This one.
Yeah, take bad weed.
You need that bad weed where you wake up in Pittsburgh somewhere.
Pittsburgh or in Sacramento, California. That's right.
That's right. So, but that's how we run it now. On occasion,
only a couple times.
Rare occasion, we do occasionally pull out the super golden 6 turd. Yes. We don't use this very often because we want people to watch the movies we review.
And what is a 6 turd?
6 turd is do not watch it. We can't recommend it. It has no horror factor.
It has no value.
Is a complete, utter piece of trash.
It is.
I mean, trashy movies is what we do, but still,
yes,
this is one. If this show can't recommend you watching a fucking movie,
it's a good point.
You know it's a bad.
It's a good point because
a bad piece of shit.
When we started the show 800 years ago, we did it because we
back in the day,
we trudged 5 miles through snow with no shoes to get to record. We did it because we already had been watching bad horror movies, but we loved watching them
for years. Yeah,
and as bad as they were, we always felt like they deserved to be watched at least once.
Absolutely,
somebody made them, somebody put work into them. But there are those movies out there that are so useless and such a waste of celluloid and digital film.
I am Zozo.
That they are 6s, they are the only ones. Of the 40 plus episodes we've done now, the only one, there's that one and one other one that I think I call the 6 that we regret watching.
And the reason behind that is because there's no fun in it.
No value. No value.
Exactly. That's a great term. There is no value. There's no fun.
Yep.
We can't recommend it because it doesn't go along with what it is we're trying to do here. Because a real legit shitty horror movie can be a ton of freaking fun.
Yeah.
When you're with your friends, drinking, having a ball, playing games, whatever. I mean, it's freaking awesome.
That's right.
And I'm saying freaking. I'm actually toning it down.
Holy
some. Shit. What the fuck am I doing?
Let's put it this way. Our 5s are bad.
Oh yeah, they're horrible.
So bad that we tell you after you watch them to go cause head trauma to yourself or to smoke some sort of illicit substance. That's how bad they are. But 6s are even worse, and so we don't even want you to fucking watch them.
Yeah, they're not even. They don't even classify as a bad horror movie.
No,
they classify as a useless
piece of shit.
Hour of wasted celluloid.
Yes,
just complete garbage.
That's right. So that's the rating system.
Yes.
And with that being said, we will go ahead and get started on the review.
I actually am looking forward to watching this motherfucker right
me
here.
too.
I'm telling you.
This looks like so much fucking fun. If it sucks, we're gonna scrap the whole fucking episode.
Yep.
So, based on the evidence, I would say that they were attacked by a pack of wolves.
People are being killed by something in the woods. In the last several days, we've had 5 separate massacres.
Mr. Mayor, what are you going to do about all the wild animal attacks that have been going on?
You can't skinny dip in a restaurant.
That is true.
Tell me where you keep your guns.
What do you want a gun for?
Darling, what's wrong? Did you see a spider?
All right, well, we just watched the movie, and it's a movie.
Yeah, and starting was the best part.
Yeah. So, all right, just to get this off the bat, the first third of the movie is
Awesome.
some of the best I've seen in a long time.
It's funny.
It's great. It's fantastic. It's random. It's inconsistent. You see the rabbit in the first 9 minutes of the film.
Yep.
First 9 minutes.
Shows up right off the bat.
You get your first kill like 3 minutes, 4 minutes into the damn film. So already this is starting off better than half the shit we watched lately.
This is, and we thought, holy shit, looking at this, it was going to be god awful.
Yeah.
It lived up to the hype.
Oh my god, the first third was so fucking great. Like that, not good as in it was a good script, it was well written, well produced, well acted. No, it was,
Yep, I know we trash millennials, but this one we're going to trash Gen Y types.
it was totally piece of shit, but damn, it wasn't a good piece of shit.
It was. This was so bad it's good, I'm going to have to say. But it starts out with this freaking goofball, mop-headed motherfucker at a wedding with bullshit crowd music. You pointed it out. The crowd track in the back was obviously recorded. It's typical.
Yeah, it's just background noise. Yeah,
all this talking and shit. And he just trashes his father
for 3 minutes.
For 3 minutes because he didn't pay for his college, and I'm going to be buried up to my ass in student loans for the rest of my life because I'm a greedy little bastard. And cussed out his younger wife, and so he bails on the fucking party.
Yeah.
Walks outside. We see some leaves rustle, some bushes. We hear what sounds like somebody with wet hands rubbing a balloon. That's squeaky ass.
That's a good comparison.
That squeaky ass thing, and we get our first kill.
Yep.
Almost instantly. Thank God it was that little motherfucker. So he ain't got to worry about paying his student loans anymore.
He gets his hand cut off, and then he gets knocked to a tree, and then he gets pulled off screen.
And he stands there. What's funny about it, he stands there. His hand gets cut off. It's laying on the ground, and he's just standing there with his mouth open like, no noise. And there's like a thumbs up because he was hitchhiking. I forgot about that. And then he falls down. He's bleeding, screaming. He's not running.
Nope.
He's just standing there. Goes down. He's looking around like, oh, my God. And there's blood. And he just, like Chris said, he just
pulled off screen.
Instant. Like they sped the film up.
And that is your first kill.
That is your first kill.
Yeah, at 4.5 minutes into the movie.
So at least it wasn't slow paced.
No.
We got right down to business.
Yeah. Right down to business. Then we transpire to the room of our main character, Doug, the dog catcher, who's absolutely fucking insane.
He's an idiot.
He takes great pleasure in catching and killing animals.
Yeah, you'd think he was killing them or just being a dog catcher.
Yeah.
Luckily, I will say right off the bat, no animals die in this movie.
The only animal in this entire fucking movie is the fake ass rabbit.
There's no other animal in
rabbit,
this. But we're going to get to the rabbit here in a minute.
So there's not montage. There's just this long ass scene of him in his room. He's got 6 pair of clothes. It's all the same shirt, the same dogcatcher shirt. He tries his clothes on. He stands in front of the mirror making goofy faces, and then he stuffs his pants full of socks.
Then he starts talking that De Niro shit to a stuffed rabbit.
Yeah,
who's on the bed. You talking to me?
He starts pulling taxi driver shit,
thinking he's some kind of badass. He's holding a fishing net.
And we're like, at this point, we're like, okay, this is gonna be the typical bad movie we watch. Like this, it's not much fun. It's just
like, holy shit. I mean, the first kill, we were like, okay, we got one bad, but it was bad.
Yeah, you didn't even see anything. Yeah. And so,
oh jeez.
Then we cut to a scene with the 2 old people in a kitchen making breakfast, and the husband's complaining that he can't have bacon because he has high cholesterol, and his wife is saying, "Don't be a bitch."
Our lazy, entitled protagonist parents.
Yes. So these are the parents. You'll find out these are the parents of the other main star, the woman who plays, I think her name is Brenda.
Yep.
Who is currently in California trying to be an actress, but she failed, and so she's calling her parents to say, "I'm moving back in because I failed as an actress, and so I'm coming back home."
Mama's a MILF, though. I mean, damn.
Yeah, you got your little pee-pee heart for that. I get that. Yeah. And so this scene goes on for like fucking forever.
Yeah.
And while that's happening, her landlord is throwing all her shit out on the street, which is funny as shit because he's just throwing shit. He just don't care. Shit. At one point, he brings an empty fucking box and drops it on the concrete.
The other empty boxes.
Yeah. And you can tell it's empty because there's a big ass hole in it. You can't see shit inside of it.
Obviously, she's been kicked out. She ain't paying her rent, and she obviously is a worthless piece of shit.
That's right.
But yet she's got a cell phone.
Yep.
Can't pay that rent or her bills, and getting tossed the fuck out. But she got a cell phone.
That's right.
So he tells her, "Get your shit out of the street, or I'm calling sanitation." End of scene. And then we cut over to our first, what we call crack hoe.
Yes, there are several nasty crack hoe looking women in this movie.
Well, this is the good part.
So you say.
Rescue titties are not, should I say,
absent.
They are in abundance in this movie.
Yeah.
It turned into something I had no idea it would. So it basically turns into a slaughter of, I mean, just
a slaughter of hookers, basically. I mean, they're
scene after scene.
Yeah, the first one, she lives alone, but she wakes up in a negligee,
wearing this fancy lingerie, and then she puts on trashy trailer park tank top and some damn cut off jeans,
and goes outside to have some lemonade,
flip flops, and she got inked and all that shit. So
and she got like chola eyebrows and shit. and then we get our we get our first glimpse of the rabbit. 9.5 minutes in, she's sitting there drinking on the porch,
and this fucking rabbit, the animation is so horrible.
So
he's like 38 feet tall, and in the first scene, it looks like he's trying to fuck the house because he's behind it, and all of a sudden he starts moving like.
He starts moving, but he's like jerking. It's a doll. It's a doll that they made, and it is all green screen, and it's badly green screen, and the doll doesn't even have articulated joints.
No, and bad doesn't even describe this, folks. Okay,
but you know what?
This rabbit is superimposed over the entire movie.
But it's fucking amazing.
It is.
I love it. It's
amazingly
so fucking
horrible.
Great. Yeah.
Then the crack hoe runs out in the street,
screaming,
and she's standing in place, waving her arms and screaming while the rabbit's fucking her house, and she gets hit by a truck. Yeah. I mean, dead on hit by a truck. I even slowed it down to look at it. Mm. It actually hits her right in the side.
Yeah.
She goes down, and she's laying there perfectly fine.
Except for her arm.
Except for one arm, which is detached, but laying like 6 inches from the rest of her arm in a perfect line.
And then this next scene is the beginning of a series of awesome scenes that just really set the tone for what this movie is all about.
We basically started about a 30-minute giggle fest at this point, because it was chuckle after chuckle, because it was stupid kill after stupid kill, but at least
it was fun.
It was fun. Absolutely.
So she's laying in the road, and she's still alive, and she's screaming. The rabbit comes up, smacks her in the face, which causes her head to turn and her eyeball to fly out, and you get a shot of an eyeball flying down her driveway.
In a perfectly symmetrical line.
Flying down a driveway, goes through an open window.
Slams.
No, it crashes through a window.
Crashes through the window like a bullet.
Now, hold on. You see it crashes through a window, He ends up in the iced tea container she was making.
Yep.
Ends up in there because it's not covered. Okay.
And Limp Bizkit comes in here.
But before that, when it cuts back to the interior shot of the kitchen, the window that it went through is now open.
It's open.
It's open, but
undamaged.
It
and
crashed
open.
through the window, but now the window is open and undamaged.
Well, $150,000, dude.
Inconsistency is the name of the game. So
I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah. So as James said,
I mean, toss the editing out the window. It's the worst we've seen yet. Which it was gloriously horrible.
So then, as his Limp Bizkit comes in, calling for his girl, I guess, and grabs a pitcher and not getting a glass, he just drinks from the pitcher. And when he pulls the pitcher down, he's got the eyeball in his fucking mouth.
Yeah, stupid.
And
then we cut over to our boys here at the, I guess, was it Catchers in the Rye?
The dog catchers in the Rye.
Dog catchers in the Rye. Meeting of the local 401.
They're having a
thing.
fucking what do they call it meeting when you're a cop and you go to a meeting before you head out on patrol?
Muster.
Yeah. So
you get together and go over the roll call and you do all this
roll
shit.
call meeting. That's right. Yeah. So they're doing that, and that's when you meet the other dog catchers who don't give a shit about it. Doesn't really matter. It's a long scene of nothing that's just wasting
They're useless
time.
characters.
They're all useless.
They're
characters.
essentially extras in this movie. Any of them barely have any lines.
Yeah.
You know, it's they fuck them. They suck.
So the chief is handing out assignments, and and then he hands out trophies for dog catchers of the month and
dog catcher of the year.
Whatever, it don't matter. Some Hispanic named Hector wins as opposed to the main dude, and he's pissed because he thinks he needs to be the dog catcher of the year.
You know,
affirmative action. Yeah, I get it. And so then there's this long ass fucking scene where he's just bullshitting Hector about him being a better dog catcher, and it just doesn't go any fucking way. It's a plot point that we don't fucking need.
It doesn't, and there is no plot.
No, there's not.
I'm sorry, there is no plot. It's a bunch of useless.
No, there is, but that's when the movie takes a dive. The plot comes in about halfway
and kills
the fucking movie. Up until this point there was no goddamn plot, and it was fucking beautiful.
Yep.
So it was a cobblestone. It was a cobble of like random scenes cut together. It just made it fun.
I'm just this 38-foot rabbit.
Yeah.
I say 38 feet. Yeah, I didn't make it up because I don't want to choose a nice even number. I have to go with an odd, stupid number. So then we get our next
crack hoe.
Oh, and we can't forget Shovel Cam.
Yeah, so this they cut to this bitch outside wearing super short shorts, a small tank top, flip flops, who's digging in her garden, and for some reason the directors thought it'd be artistic to put a goddamn camera on the shovel to watch as the shovel digs into the ground and then dumps the dirt elsewhere. It's not artistic. It's just fucking stupid.
It is stupid. So Bunny Bait here is apparently gardening her carrot patch, and all of her carrots seem to be laying in the yard, so she runs out there all pissed off. What the hell's going on here? Looking like a skinny, starving, crack-laden Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, she is cracked out.
And then, Peter CottonHell shows up, and he
somehow manages to
we can't forget the award-winning acting.
When she
stands there and she literally goes, ah!
Yeah, her terrified scream.
And she's standing in one place.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Wabbit takes a swipe at her. And doesn't kill her.
Perfectly hits her.
And we can't forget, she walks up, and before that happens, and sees the superimposed giant pile of dirt over the screen.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the rabbit hole he comes out of, but it's just it looks like a pile of shit they put on a green screen. It's terrible.
And then we get the rabbit swipes at her, and perfectly
takes off her top.
Perfect precision takes her top off. So now we got two half-filled water balloons attached to a crack whore running through the forest.
This skinny frame has the biggest, saggiest boobs I've seen on a young person. It is disgusting.
I mean, rescue boobs are usually nice, but it's like, oh, geez.
But then, like, the directors, excuse me, there's two, purposely put her in shots where she's just standing there, moving back and forth so that her tits are flopping, and then zoom in.
If everybody remembers the old movie Airplane, There was a scene when they showed the Jell-O jiggling on the tray
Yeah.
during the turbulence, and then they go to the seat next to it, and there's a woman with big boobs.
Right.
And the boob. This is very airplane-esque, except
Not
trashy.
funny. Yeah. And so it keeps cutting back and forth, close up of her boobs, not her boobs, close up of her boobs, and she's moving around, whatever. And then
And then all of a sudden, dead on the ground.
she gets her head, the damn rabbit shows up and bites her head off.
And dead on the ground.
Bites her head off, and she falls on the ground. She's dead.
Yep. And everything happens like a split second. It's
Yeah.
like instant death. There's no slow falls. There's no nothing. It's like chomp,
No.
and
Done.
then boom, laying there on the ground.
So then Brenda comes home and is having breakfast with her old man, and he's talking about how she's a fucking failed millennial, and she's
let's not pick on millennials too much. She's
Fuck 'em.
too young for that. She's more Gen Y type.
Either
Raised
way,
by millennials.
yeah. Well, no, he's a little too old to be millennial.
Yeah, he's an old bastard.
He's
like
an old
me.
bastard. Yeah. But yeah, he talks about how she's a failed poet, failed actress, failed
Porn star.
failed crack hooker. She just fails at everything she does, and he's not going to pay for her school anymore. And so she ends up getting a job at the doggy.
Not without uttering one of the most annoying lines in the entire movie.
Yeah, what was that line, James?
She tells her dad lovingly, "I'm an artist. I'm a flower, and I need you to water me with your wallet."
Yeah, not even subtle at all. Just give me your money, Dad.
If this was my TV, I'd stand up and kick it in.
If this is my daughter, I'd punch her right in her fucking face.
Exactly. Entitlement. Get a job, you brats.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, they're done with this. The father gives this stupid rambling on about the, getting a job and doing this and doing that, and then does this stupid thing with napkins. I can do this. I can do
He's making like an analogy or some shit with the napkin.
It's a useless scene. It should have ended like halfway as long as it was because it didn't need to be. Matter of fact, this entire movie should have been about a half hour shorter than it really was.
I think if it had been an hour, it would have been a much tighter movie, and the extra half hour just drug it the fuck on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It did, but that's the problem. See, it did have the it factor, as far as, shitty horror movies go, because it's so far-fetched and so over-the-top stupid.
Yeah.
This is perfect to play a drinking game with. And then we get our next lovely lady.
So this is our first one that doesn't look like a crack hoe because she's meaty.
She doesn't. She actually looks, she's got some
meat on her bones.
Thickness.
So
she's nice looking.
She's on a horse out on a ranch taking a little ride, and then we get a shot of the rabbit standing right next to a fence, which the fences on ranches and farms are usually about 5 feet tall.
And please notice that this rabbit don't give a flying fuck who sees him.
No.
And just walks around in broad daylight.
We should also make notice of the fact that the movie doesn't even give you any indication as to where the rabbit came from. He literally just shows up and starts killing people.
Well, they don't have...
Which I love. I love it.
It's great.
I love it.
But like I said, $150,000. They didn't have time for backstory.
And so she sees the rabbit.
And starts riding away on a horse at a slow trot. Oh, then the horse goes sideways a little bit, starts to jostle.
And then the rabbit is very slowly trying to chase her. And then all of a sudden, there's a terrible scene where all of a sudden her upper half is on top of a tree.
She went under a tree and cut herself in perfect half, and her legs are still sitting
on the fucking horse
in the saddle. And you could tell it's a green screen because you could see the separation.
Yeah.
So she was probably wearing a green suit over her head and arms and sitting on top of the horse. It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. It was creative. It was funny.
I love corny kills, man.
Yeah, but not only that, but then we are at 4 kills already?
4 kills, man.
4 kills,
and we're, so bad.
We're 20 minutes
so
in
we're
this
averaging
motherfucker,
a kill every 5 minutes,
which is great.
I can handle that.
Yeah. So then we get a scene where the female Brenda goes to the dog daycare or the dog catchers. I keep on saying doggy daycare. The dog catchers to fill out application, and then she gets hired on, and then we get another scene of...
Now, what's funny, though, is he's like, have you done this? No. Have you ever done this? Not really. Well, can you put on a hat? And she says, I think I can do that. And she goes, fine, you're hired. She stands up and goes, fuck.
Not a lot of...
I got a job.
Requirements for this job.
Yeah. No.
So then we get a scene where Doug is again giving Hector shit about his fucking trophy, and it goes on way too fucking long, and I just don't care. I'm going past it because this whole trophy bullshit is dumb. It's fucking dumb. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't amount to anything. No,
It does.
It
It's
does amount at
useless
the end.
fill.
It does amount to something because of the fact that they keep showing the trophy, which is a piece of shit plastic.
And he's and Hector's toting it around with him everywhere he goes.
Right. And then he gets killed with it later on, which is why it comes back around.
Yes.
But it doesn't need all of this extra fucking scenery. This fucking setup, it's stupid.
No, well,
It goes on way too fucking
stupid.
long.
This movie is stupid, bro.
Yeah, but like the good the bad parts are good, and then the rest is just shit.
Obsessed with UFOs and extraterrestrials?
Convinced there's a chupacabra in your backyard?
Is your doppelganger ruining your life?
Do you love all things haunting related?
If you answered yes to any,
Or none of these?
then these are the mostly sensical, slightly drunken ramblings for you? Question mark? I'm Emily.
And I'm Joel, and we're the hosts of Drink Drunk Dead. Join us
Our two cats, Emma and Otto, and our house ghost,
every week as we have a few drinks, discuss all things paranormal,
and raise a toast to our ghosts.
Well, that's yeah.
I mean,
that's what it is. It starts out like gangbusters, then it slows down a little bit, and that's when we start looking at each other and we're like, "Oh God, come on," because it's an hour and a half.
I say the plot got in the way of the movie.
It did.
That's what happened.
They tried to make a plot and they
Yeah.
fucked it up.
So then we cut to a couple who are out in the woods walking, and the boyfriend's a real douche, and the girlfriend is not unattractive, but she's not a crack hoe.
No, she's actually kind of hot. I kind of like this one.
Her face looks like she got smashed with the road sign, but
Nah.
yeah, she got that smushed nose. It's terrible.
You think?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But then he's like, "What are we doing out here? I don't want to be out here." And he's like, "Well, let's go to a diner." And she's like, "Well, you can't go skinny dipping at a diner." And he's like, "That's right." So then he makes her turn around. She strips down to her absolutely nothing.
That's like, turn around. We're going skinny dipping, but turn the fuck around.
Yeah. So she strips down butt naked and then takes off. And so he's following a trail of her clothes to try and find her. And again, more rescue titties. And then you get rescue bush too. Then
this is true.
Then when he finds her, oh my God! Then he finds her. Okay, he finds her on the ground, on her knees, ass up in the air. But you can't see
the front half.
The front half.
All you see
can't
is
see from the waist up is hidden behind a tree.
Hidden behind a tree. I was hoping.
And you
to
called
God,
it.
I was
you
hoping
called it.
to God he would go up there and just start to nail it. And
then
he does attempt to do this, but then realizes there's only half of her here,
and there's no top half. It's gone.
And then he gets wiped the fuck out.
He gets
jack slapped,
and
Jack rabbit slapped into the woods.
He's laying there, and he's looking at his knife has fallen out, and his cigarettes have fallen out, and he's reaching for it, and we're thinking he's reaching for the knife, but he reaches for the cigarettes because he's a fucking douchebag.
It's a 38-foot rabbit. What's a fucking knife gonna do?
I don't know.
Anyway, but he reaches for his cigarettes, lights up like an asshole. It's the smoker mentality.
Yeah, just long enough for the rabbit to
come and get him. Starts smiling, and the rabbit fucks him up.
Yeah,
I love it.
The funny part that we were laughing on this scene though is that, you know, the image of the actress who had to get completely butt ass naked, and then she had to get on her knees and bend down
in
the forest, get on her knees and bend down so that her ass is up in the air, and then they had to put a green piece of cloth over her upper part.
Yep.
And then they green screened in her, you know, they took out her top part, but you see it, and it's just her with her knee on her knees, butt in the air, and you're thinking this poor girl had to do this for this fucking movie.
Yeah, well,
it's terrible.
That's why I said
sad.
Out of the 150,000, she probably got a couple hundred.
Yeah, if that. She got the most because she showed the most.
Well, we've already explained some of the opening scenery was actually quite nice. The shots were good.
Yeah.
For this fucking piece of shit.
I mean,
the shots were good, but we're like, well, that must be where the money went to. The drone
and the camera that they have,
because they couldn't have had a helicopter. And then again, it was very limited footage too.
Yeah, and so then he gets eaten quite funnily. Like the rabbit grabs him and
flips him upside down,
and so you see his legs sticking out of the
eats him
mouth.
Much like you would see a pelican eat a fish.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he just up and he's like, rah, rah, rah. You know,
It is so fucking funny. So then we get introduced to the douchebag of the movie.
The douchebag of the movie. The fucking weed head mayor.
Hippie, hipster fucking mayor.
What a piece of shit.
He comes strolling through through this town, just walking around, pointing finger guns at people. He does the cliche. He literally comes up, steals candy from a kid.
Yeah.
And then walks off, but then comes back and gives her the fucking... he
gives her the stick back and says, don't let her kid.
Yeah. And then we're like, okay, so first of all, we don't know who this guy is. We just see him walking around. He's doing finger guns.
Yeah, we're like,
takes that candy. It's like...
Yeah, well, like I said, I know I said mayor already and I kind of blew it, but at this point we did not have any fucking idea who this clown was.
Until he gets to town hall and there's some bitch there and she's asking him about
She's asking about a stop sign on Main Street.
And calls him the mayor. And we're like, this is the fucking mayor.
This is the mayor.
This is the mayor.
In a movie like this, yes, I would expect a mayor to be like this. The mayor from Jaws looked like an emperor compared to this clown.
Well, see, that's the thing, like those kind of movies like this where there's a giant creature and the mayor is against it, just because the mayor is conservative, uptight, and dresses like a banker. Yeah. This guy is loose, relaxed, chill.
He looks like a hippie. He looks like Ted Nugent's younger brother, skinnier, more strung out, and just
yeah. And so for him to be so against it just doesn't make sense. He's kind of want to go with the flow. So we then we're introduced to his bodyguard or his security guy who's talking about the festival coming up.
I think it's like Hatter as chief of police. They never really explain who this guy is.
And the uniform is so bad.
It is horrible.
You can't tell it's chief of police because it's got no badge, it's got no name tag, it's got no ribbons, it's got nothing, but it's a short sleeve shirt.
He's a mall cop.
He's head of mall cops. And so they're talking about this festival coming up where the mayor has all these fucking things set up where it's like there's a blowjob tent, there's a photo studio where he can take naked pictures of females.
And my favorite, and a beer tasting booth next to the high school with a voting booth next to it so they can get them drunk and get them in the voting booth.
That's right.
I love it.
That's right.
Stupid, but funny.
Yeah.
I mean, but like I said, if I don't know if.
And so this scene goes on way too long. And
anyway, his bodyguards tell him what a great humanitarian he is because he's coming up with these outlandish, stupid fucking
ass ideas. Yeah,
his total dumbass. So we proceed past that to a young girl, typical modern day gal, walking through the woods
on her phone,
dressed like a hoe, on her phone with little earbuds in, ignoring the rest of the world like she can. Her friends. And she walks right into Mr. 38-foot. Peter,
she walked into an area where he's doing his killing, and she literally walks over half a body without seeing it.
Steps right over it.
And then
Peter
walks up.
Now this gal's actually kind of cute, but she's so stupid. She says, "Oh my God, a 38-foot rabbit! I got to tweet this."
Right.
She starts tweeting. She gets wiped out. She's literally in two pieces with guts strewn between. And before she dies, blood's coming out of her mouth, and she puts on her fucking phone, YOLO.
Yeah, and I want to read the text real quick because the texts are funny as hell on her phone. So she had texted somebody, "Mad Bunny up in her" with like 12 R's, and then a bunch of fucking like
cuss word, like characters, cuss words, yeah.
And then the friend who has no picture and is not saved in her phone because it's just a phone number, not a name. Replies with, "Is your phone broke?" It's FON. He means phone, but it sounds like fawn.
Stupid.
Is your phone broke? And then she replies back with YOLO and then a bunch of characters. And then she dies. Yeah. This is fucking brilliant. I love this.
This is brilliant because it is typical of how today's youth would act in a situation like that.
Yeah.
I'm cut in half, but let me finish this tweet.
First, let me take a selfie. Yeah, exactly.
Let me take a selfie. Let me tweet.
And then she dies.
And then she croaks.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because she was kind of cute. But oh well.
Fuck them all.
Then we get another good-looking panoramic shot of the mountains and this big green prairie, brought to you by a drone.
A drone, yeah.
Probably stolen footage.
Yeah, probably. Probably stock footage.
And then instant switch. I mean, it's a
hard cut
scene, hard cut.
Yeah.
To I guess you called him Kylo earlier.
Yeah, he looks like Kylo retard. And Brenda the bitch. So we got Kylo retard and Brenda the bitch, and it's her first day, and he's trying to give her tips on how to be a good dog catcher. And he mentions how he flunked out of the police academy because he failed a psychological test.
Well, he obviously didn't fail that. He probably also failed all of the training videos on sexual harassment and personal space and all this other stuff.
And the physical
he was
fitness
all
test.
up in her grill.
Yeah.
Just harassing the shit out of this.
He's socially awkward, doesn't know how to talk to women, so he just does what he thinks he should do, which is be an asshole.
He stuffs like 6 socks in his crotch before he goes to work, dude. What do you expect?
He failed that. He failed the PT test. He failed the written exam. He didn't put his name right on the thing. He just failed everything on the police academy. He washed out before he even washed in.
Yep.
And so again, another scene. This is when we started noticing the cracks in the film, because this fucking scene goes on way too goddamn long.
We'll call them fissures. There were more than cracks. This was horrible.
Yeah. And then
horribly good though.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. And then we cut to a scene with another hoe.
But actually, this one's kind of nice looking.
Yeah.
She reminds me of a lesser attractive Salma Hayek type.
She's a lower calorie Salma Hayek.
Very low calorie. Salma Hayek is a goddess.
She's walking up to this patch of rocks in the middle of the forest that look like they're about 6 feet high. And then she starts doing stretches and push-ups, and we're like, what in the holy fuck is this dumb bitch doing out here?
It's for gratuitous close-up titty shots.
Which they give a lot of.
Which they give a ton of, yes.
She's wearing a shirt and a bra, but her nipples are still poking out because that's what happens when you're out. That's what happens when you're middle of the forest.
Doing push-ups.
Yeah, and it's hot.
Yes.
Your nipples poke out because it's hot. And so just tons of shots of her boobs, and she's stretching a whole bunch, and then the rabbit's slowly walking. By the way, this rabbit's slowly walking up to her, and the puppeteer they had does not know how to make him walk.
If he's even walking, he shuffles and he comes in at a 45-degree angle.
And as you notice, as you mentioned, half the time one of his feet is not even actually on the ground because the green screen is so bad.
And you see the what do you say that you see the dark lines underneath it, the borders of the graphics or whatever the hell
when
this attempt was.
When they CGI'd it in, they didn't do the cut and cleaning right, and so you see the bottom part where there's like a line.
It's horribly done. This looks like a high school movie project.
It does.
It really does.
So then this bitch
But that's what makes it so gloriously hilarious and stupid.
Yeah.
And enjoyable as far as.
I mean, we were cutting up and laughing and having a great time this whole first half or first third of the movie.
Yeah, this is a definitely oh my god movie. That's for sure. You're like, holy crap, really?
So then you see that she gets geared up and she's going to climb this rock, which went from being 6 feet to about 10 feet.
No, even more, I think.
And go ahead.
Yeah, it's sprouted. It's just like the rabbit. It keeps changing height.
Yeah.
You know, because a rabbit goes from anywhere from 12 feet to 38 feet.
Back to like 6 feet, and then
it's all over the place.
And so then the rabbit shows up, and it stumbles so fucking retardedly up to her on the rock, and then it looks like it's dancing, by the way, when it walks up to her. It's like doing like a break dance or some shit. It is
hilarious.
And so it grabs her by the foot and takes her foot off.
But it falls forward, too. It looks like it trips.
Yeah.
It doesn't grab her or anything. It falls forward. It kills her, but then it doesn't show it doesn't show the death, but it shows her head cut off, and then it shows her arm.
Her head's not cut off. Her head's still attached to the body. It shows her foot cut off, and then her hands cut off.
Her hands cut off, flipping the bird.
And this is kind of annoying, but I get because they didn't know how to do any of this. They didn't have any life-size props. All they had was the miniature that they filmed against the green screen, and then interjected it with the live footage. But the rabbit goes in for the kill. As soon as he lunges forward, hard cuts. You see a foot on the ground.
And there's parts, body parts everywhere.
See her foot on the ground. Then it cuts to her face, which is still attached to her body, bleeding, dead. Then it cuts to her hand, which is cut off, and flipping the finger. And that's it. You don't see any of the actual mauling.
No, you do not.
You have to take it on faith that when he lunged at her, he was somehow able to take off her foot and her hand, and she died from blood loss.
As a matter of fact, the only actual physical contact you see between, Peter CottonHell and his victims is the ones he eats.
Yes, that's correct. That is very true.
That's the only time. The rest of the time, it's all off-screen stuff. I mean, he lunges, all of a sudden there's body parts everywhere, and they're dead.
Yeah, but then when he eats them, there's a good scene of him picking him up and then like shaking back and forth to get down into his gullet.
Pelican, brother.
Down to his gullet. That's right. So then we're back to the fucking Kylo retard and Brenda bitch again walking through the same forest and then talking and who gives a shit, and then talking about how he has PTSD because he's stupid and I don't care.
And granted, besides the bunny and the eggs in the opening scene, there hasn't really been any Easter to this whole fucking thing.
No, they mentioned that
the Easter
parade. Yeah.
Yeah.
They mentioned there's Easter parade going on, and the mayor wants it to go on because he has a lot of money being funneled into it, so he can make money, whatever. And then of course the intro, the beginning of the movie, the title screen, the titles of the movie were shown with like Easter eggs being hidden and stuff.
Yeah, and
so
that was it.
That was all the Easter. You don't know that it's Easter's coming up, except for when the mayor talks about the festival. That's it. Nothing.
That's
Nothing
it.
else. No.
And this ain't even a white, fluffy giant rabbit. It's
No.
a brown,
dirty as shit,
strung out meth head.
I mean,
rabbit
teeth
with
coming out
with a jaw that looks like he's got a horse's skull.
Yeah.
With like saber-toothed teeth.
Yeah.
I mean, he's all kinds of weird looking.
So then we cut to the mayor, and he's at his house in the pool, and we get a rescue ass shot of a naked lady in her ass, quite a bit actually. She's like rubbing her ass, and while he's blowing up an inflatable toy for a kid, and she's just sitting there in the pool just rubbing herself because that's what I guess they do.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's keeping the movie afloat. At least that's what they thought it would do. Anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
But
and we finally.
But Mall Cop and other Mall Cop.
Yeah, and show up.
They never even introduced her. We don't know who she is, and this is her only scene. Some blonde cop that shows up with the brother.
So he has a patch on his shoulder that says San Francisco Police, so he's supposed to be a police officer. But he has San Francisco Police.
This is San Francisco?
That's what it said. Look at the thing.
This ain't San Francisco, but it damn sure is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man, they stole that shirt.
They did.
Fuckers.
Meanwhile, so he shows up to tell the mayor that
this ain't no San Francisco. This is Green Acres.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the movie was filmed in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
That is true.
Yes.
And what I like about this stupid ass mayor, when he shows up and he starts talking about, hey, there's a large bunny out here. We've had 5 incidents. You know, they know this rabbit's out there now, and it's killing motherfuckers. And the mayor's blaming it on the Amish.
Yeah.
That's what's fucking hilarious. It's goddamn Amish. Fuck them. You know?
But the whole time that the cop is there, and it's funny because the cop shows up with a fucking wagon wheel in his hand because the bunny attacked an Amish area and killed a bunch of Amish people.
That's right.
And so he shows up with a fucking wagon wheel in his hand, and he's telling the mayor about these dead bodies and that something's killing him. While he's there talking to the mayor, this fucking movie keeps cutting back to shots of the hoe rubbing herself, as if to make us remind us, hey, there's a naked bitch here.
Naked bitch in the pool.
Let's keep the audience's attention by showing her, cutting back to her for no other reason, just to show her.
Now, I'm beginning to think the $150,000. Here I go again with the money. Is spent on all these chicks doing these naked scenes.
You're very concerned about where this money went to. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
I don't see where they could. If $150,000. I'm thinking about saving up for a couple of years and making my own low grade horror movie. They can do it for $150,000.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
You just gotta get a nice camera, a drone, and a bunch of naked chicks.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
A couple of still cameras is enough.
Apparently. So then we cut to this dude hanging out by his truck. He's one of the dog catchers, and
finally some interaction with a character besides the other.
Yeah. I don't remember the guy's name, but he gets a call, and he's assigned to go catch some rabid squirrels out in this forest.
His name's not important.
But he's a hockey fan because his net at the end of it has a hockey stick on it.
Yep.
And he's wearing knee pads.
So why they're going after squirrels in the forest, I have no idea. This makes no sense.
That is literally trying to catch a piece of hay in a fucking. It's like it's ridiculous. You're not going to catch a fucking squirrel in the forest.
And why are you in the forest? The animal. This is animal control supposedly. Why go out to the forest if they're just going to capture these animals and destroy them?
Yeah, you're not park rangers.
Well, he ends up out in the middle of this big ass field in front of this net.
Yeah.
And Peter CottonHell comes along.
Yeah, and he
starts chasing his freaking ass.
It's so funny. He's in this fucking soccer field.
Yep.
When he comes across the giant rabbit, and he goes to try to attack the rabbit, and the rabbit fucking kicks him into the goddamn soccer net.
Kicks him hard too. He goes flying and says, "Me and you, rabbit." So he's standing off against this damn rabbit, and he just gets whacked. And then he comes over there, dead, chopped up again. I think, what did he take his legs off?
Yeah, he takes his legs. The rabbit likes taking legs a lot for some reason. By the way, guys, there's a wide shot in this movie where the guy's running into the soccer field, and it's a wide shot. And then, of course, they've interjected the rabbit CGI in there after him, and it looks gloriously bad.
It is.
And I'm not even kidding. When the rabbit kicks the guy into the net, he does this little fucking shimmy dance.
Yep.
Like he's super happy he made a goal.
I scored, fool.
Yeah.
And I just noticed something else about the rabbit too. Some bitch has got 3 eyes.
3 eyes?
He's got 2 eyes on the top, and he's got one in the middle of his fucking forehead. I didn't notice it.
3 eyes?
Yep. I think. Well, maybe not.
No, I just see 2. I see 2 in the nose. Yeah, he's got 2. I don't know what the fuck you're seeing, but you
know what?
You're smoking something.
It's late.
Yeah, that's no excuse. It's always late.
Well, anyway, so this rabbit begins to disassemble this guy. Takes his legs first. Then the guy reaches up with his hand, and somehow this giant rabbit managed to take 3 fingers off of one hand. He's like, and then dead.
And that's it.
And he's gone.
And then we cut to the fucking the station with dog catchers, and
everybody's panicking,
and they're all crying because Roger. Oh, that's his name, Roger. Roger died. Who gives a fucking shit? He's useless.
Yeah, he did. Everybody's whining about it, and this guy who's sitting here pining over his death grabs his why there's an athletic cup in the locker in the first place.
Because he plays hockey.
I guess so. Yep. And he puts it up to his face
and sniffs it. And
I'm like, okay, gag. That right there was stupid.
Yeah. This is about the time that we realized the movie is just way too long.
It's gone off the rails.
It's gone off the rails. It's not even charmingly bad anymore. It's just boring.
That's the part where we're like, oh, come on, man, don't ruin it. We're like, shit,
And so then they decide that he must have been killed by a pack of wild dogs. So Kylo Retard is going to go out there and get those pack of dogs because that's his job and that's what he wants to do. And he comes across Brenda and Hector flirting, and he gets a little jealous because Brenda's the first girl he's actually talked to because he doesn't talk to girls because he's awkward.
Mm-hmm. And she's trying, Hector's getting his Mac on.
That's right. Hector's trying to get him some Brenda.
Yep, and he don't like it.
No, and again, this is on a scene that goes on way too fucking long. Like they're talking and flirting.
It's useless.
It's like, oh my god.
At this point, when the killing starts, they got to stop doing this shit. Most horror movies would be advised once the killing starts, keep the action going, keep the adrenaline
keep a good
up.
Pace.
Now there's no adrenaline in this movie. There's no adrenaline. This is definitely a horror comedy.
It's a very black comedy
because it's really stupid.
It is.
It's
almost self-aware of how stupid it is.
Then what they do is they cut back after they discussed the Amish farm earlier. Then they go to a scene where they're actually at the Amish farm,
picking up
what it
all
looks like.
These
They've
party
got police tape up, and the guys are walking around picking up legs and shit, and they're in hazmat suits, Corona lockdown, bitch. And they're just putting these parts in these bags, and the mayor's like, "No, dude, it was farm tools. They were killed with farm tools."
Yeah, the Amish were killed with farm tools.
He kept blaming shit on farm tools, trying to cover it up.
Because he's like this is their fault, and they should have. We have a whole new line of safety tools we're gonna come out with that you can buy at my hardware store. He owns a hardware store too, apparently.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah,
he keeps promoting his own products every time there's a crisis.
Yeah. And so while after that, okay, so here's something that doesn't get answered, by the way. While they're there, the reporters are there interviewing him at the crime scene, which, they're getting all these bloody parts on camera. All of a sudden, for some reason they ask what that is. It's like, what's that? And it cuts to the side of the forest, and there's a giant fucking egg
with ketchup on it.
Yeah, all around the center of the shell
with a ring of ketchup on it.
And we're like, okay, first of all, where the fuck did the egg come from?
Apparently from the 40-foot or 50-foot or 38-foot or however big he is in the next scene, fucking crack rabbit.
Why?
I don't know.
Rabbits don't lay eggs.
No, they don't. Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Why the Easter eggs?
But and then they show it again later on when the mayor hires 2 guys to go move it, and they don't show it again after that.
But that's where the one gets eaten.
Right. But they don't after that scene, they completely forget about the egg.
They do.
It's not even mentioned
It's
again.
not mentioned
It's
again.
not
Nobody
figured out.
goes near it.
It doesn't
even
hatch.
show it again, I don't think. Nope.
I
was hoping it would hatch and another damn rabbit would come out.
I thought it was going to hatch and a damn chicken come out, and there's going to be a fight between a chicken and a rabbit.
Or they team up and go after the town.
Yeah, but no, that's it. So it literally is a unnecessary, useless piece of information.
It is
useless plot point.
It doesn't
go anywhere.
Anything, it doesn't tie anything
No.
together. So
well, because it's Easter, they need eggs, so they have a giant fucking egg.
This is the kind of the part that started to piss us off a little bit, because they're like, look, you had a gloriously goofy, stupid piece of shit going here, and you're wrecking it with trying to put too much. You're trying to put a plot into it.
Right. The plot ruins the movie.
Yes, it does.
No. Yeah, and the plot gets away with the movie.
It was better when it was just when it seemed like it was just improvised.
Yeah, and in the beginning had this like steady like back and forth of kill, then a little bit of uselessness, then kill, then uselessness and kill, and it was consistent amount of kills, but it was just kills of people you had no idea who they were. They were just there, and all of a sudden they were dead, and it were good kills too, funny kills, and then all of a sudden they decided once Brenda joined the dogcatchers, they decided they wanted to have a plot in this movie.
Let's take a sledgehammer to the plot.
Yes.
Let's kill it.
And so then Brenda and Kylo are out there again, trying to find these dogs that killed Roger, and for some reason she wanders off and she sits down behind a rock.
Well, he says, I'm going to go this way, you go this way. So instead of actually doing her job, she just sits down with her little headphones and her little cell phone, and she's reading a book, which I'm surprised she's reading at all.
Yeah.
And then notices a severed foot drops on the ground because the rabbit is behind her, and he burps. And he hocks up a foot. It lands on the ground next to her net. She gets up, hauls ass, flies past him, knocks him over. He thinks, oh, you're coming back for me. She jacks the keys and takes off and gets in the car, hauls ass, leaving Kylo retard out there by his damn self.
Yep.
I love that part. I was like,
she
you know what? Fuck
she just
you.
fucking took off. So then this is where we get the scene where the two guys were told by the mayor to come out to the woods and get the egg. And their entire dialogue from the car to the woods is nonstop. Like there's no breath or no break in between each time they talk. It literally is just back to back to
you
back.
You have
to back
a semi-macho man wannabe and a total wimp. I mean, one of them's talking like, "Oh my God, I don't want to go out here," and the other guy's like, "Hey, suck up, dude," you know, and all this shit.
It's so cringy because they're just nonstop talking, and there's no break in between. It's just, it's at this point the script is.
These are probably the two assholes responsible for this movie, for all we know.
Yeah, they might be the brothers that directed this piece of shit.
Yep.
Yeah,
that is very.
And so they get to the egg, and while they're there, one of them walks up to it, and somehow the blood that was 50 feet up is now 5 feet off the ground.
Exactly.
And
that's lots of plot in that, lots of
plot holes.
Plot holes, tons.
Yeah.
Make no sense. And then all of a sudden, the guy turns around, and the wimpier of the two is now being digested and slung around, and he's like shaking him like a rag doll for a minute. You don't see any of that, but you see him
get eaten and picked up and then go off screen. And this was actually kind of a funny part because then
it's almost South Park like animation.
Yeah, it really
when you
is.
see this rabbit grab this guy and shake him, it's very stiff, it's horrible.
And the other guy, the macho guy, this is actually pretty funny. He sees him get eaten, and he's looking up, and then instead of being horrified or freaked out, his lines are, I quote, he says, "What are you doing? It's just a bunny. Kick it with your legs," as he's watching his friend get devoured by a 38-foot rabbit.
Getting jackhammer eaten, too, because the damn bunny's head is like...
Right. And so then he gets sprayed with blood after that happens. And when that happens, he's like, "Kick it with your leg. Your leg." He's dead on about telling him to kick with the leg. Then
that's stupid. And then he stands there.
A kind of cool scene after that is he's standing there, and there's like this kind of close up where the rabbit is like he's lowered his face down to the ground and is looking directly at the guy. It's kind of a neat scene because it's done CGI still. It's not a giant. It's not like Kong.
I guess the best described when we finally get a close up of it and we get a good look at this thing and the dynamics of this. rabbit, so to say. He actually looks like something that has been dead for quite a while. It's like got fur on parts, some of it doesn't. Got bare bone, it's missing a lot of teeth.
That's a good description.
The back teeth and stuff.
That's a good description, yeah.
So, yeah, and it's eh.
Yeah. I mean, like, King Kong, 1930s, King Kong. You know, it was claymation for the wide shots, and then when they had to do a practical effect, like the scene where she gets pulled from the hotel room, they built a giant hand.
They sure did.
Built a giant hand on a rig, and they put her inside of it, and then they filmed the scene where he pulls her out of the room. The hand was there. Okay. They didn't do this. They didn't make a giant head to have enter the scene.
Oh no!
It's still fucking green screen.
Still green screen, superimposed.
This one looks pretty impressive for the close up of it, though.
For once.
Yeah, and so it lowers his head and gets right up to where the dude is at, and the dude, this is the calmest fucking dude.
I love this
in
line
the entire movie
because he just sits there and stares at it, and he's like, "Oh, geez." He says, "I guess this is karma for all those chocolate rabbits I ate as a kid."
Yeah,
but you don't see him die, but it's insinuated he did.
Yeah, because it cuts after that, so you know he's dead though.
You know he gets taken. Yeah, of course he does.
So we go to a press conference which is where the mayor blames the deaths on the Amish and then talks about the tools they use and how he now has safety tools everybody needs to buy, including a hammer covered in bubble wrap and a power saw or a power sander that is covered in whipped cream.
Which is none of this fits any of this. This is
This is like a whole.
This is where it's become real stupid, and it.
This is where they finished the movie. They finished the movie.
Yep.
And then they realized they only had a 45-minute movie.
And they needed to plaster.
And they're like, shit, we need to add at least another 45 minutes. We need to get 90 minutes. And so they wrote in these fucking scenes that had nothing to do with the movie and just shoved them in here.
If I could have got a hold of this thing on the cutting room floor and edited this thing, it'd have been about an hour and 5 minutes, maybe an hour 10.
That's
at the
too
most.
long still. I think an hour
maybe
is
hour,
perfect.
But yeah, all this useless crap would have been gone because it doesn't bear on the story at any
drags
point.
it down.
It does.
It drags it to
weighs
a halt.
It down. So
it's not
luckily,
funny.
Luckily, the fun of the other scenes pulls it back up for us at least.
Yeah, and the mayor character is just he's it's too much of a hippie, like too much,
way too hippied out. Yeah, and he's unrelatable to any of today's young audience. Even to us. Somebody in my age, I used to know guys like that when I was a kid.
Oh well, the case
because I was in Colorado, a lot of hippies, a lot of head cases, a lot of weed heads.
Yeah,
so I kind of knew a lot of guys like that. Not quite that dumb, but dumb.
Yeah. So then we cut to Hector is in the forest and he's being told by his boss he needs to go after the rabid dogs, and he's like, okay, well I don't have a good net, I have a fucking fish net.
And it's not even a fish net. This is a light material net like you would use in a pet store to retrieve, when they catch fish out of the tank.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to go chasing wild dogs with this thing.
Right.
So he puts his little thumbs up trophy on the rock.
He has his trophy with him, and so he sticks it on the rock while he goes looking for these dogs. And he comes across the rabbit, of course.
Of course he does.
Yeah. And as a normal person would, he freaks the fuck out. And he hauls ass out of the forest. But when he gets to the spot where he left his trophy on the rock, he trips, he falls in the trophy, and the trophy's thumb sticks into his fucking chest.
Yes.
And it's barely in there, by the way. It's like the nail. It's probably up to the nail in his chest, but the bottom of the trophy is open, and it is spurting like blood all over the fucking place.
And what do we mean by inconsistencies? First of all, when he gets up to confront the rabbit, he only takes about 10 or 20 feet. Walks about 10 or 20 feet maybe.
Yeah.
But then when he turns to go back to where his damn thumb is, he starts running.
He's running like all over the place.
And then he gets to this fuking tank. It's like at this old museum or something.
In the middle of fucking nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere. It's cool though. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool, but it doesn't have it has no reason to be fucking there.
I just wish it was operable, and I wish they'd have used this thing against the rabbit. That would have been awesome.
That'd been great, but they don't. They waste it.
He just runs around doing nothing, and then he gets back to where his thing is. And admittedly, this is one of the fastest son of a bitch I've ever seen. because he was running around his tank, and then before you know it, he's 150 yards into the forest at a dead run.
Yeah, in a split second. Yeah.
And he goes to get his stupid trophy of all things, and he falls on it, like Chris said, and it pierces his chest. He rolls over, and then it's like this fountain of Hawaiian punch
is spouting
coming
out of his chest.
Not even good blood effects. It's total shit.
Yeah, and I mean, this kill was funny, but it wasn't.
And then the
really...
rabbit, as slow as it moves, does a Jason Voorhees, and it's like right fucking there, cuts the dumbass in half, and then we get this god awful, stupid
blood splatter.
I don't even know. It's like they painted it over the camera lens.
Yeah, it's on the lens. It's like an.
And they filmed this, and it was lousy. And then we get back to the ever shrinking bunch of dog catchers.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of glad, because I fucking hate dog catchers.
Yeah.
They can kiss my ass. And if any are listening,
fuck you. And so, but we get Kylo fucking retard shows up, and he's wearing these tight ass black and red striped pants.
He trying to look like Steven Tyler.
Whatever he's doing,
it ain't working.
He why he wears it, I don't know, but he's trying to confront Brenda because she said Hector died, and then he decides he's going to avenge Hector for Brenda's honor, and decides to take off and to go into the forest to get these dogs. And so he takes off to go get the dogs, and this is when he comes across the rabbit.
Yeah.
He starts coming across a trail of mail.
Yeah.
There's like all these letters. I saw a Netflix DVD pouch.
There's a Netflix DVD pouch,
which is pretty fucking awesome
and pretty rare now.
Yeah, and so he's following this trail of bloody mail that's on the ground, and he gets to the end of it. He looks up, and there's a rabbit, and he's got the postal man in his mouth.
In the pelican shake, as I call it.
Yes, the pelican shake, and it is glorious. This rabbit has killed more fucking people than half the fucking people we've seen in movies recently.
I think he's actually killed more than Jason in the Friday the 13th movies.
Probably pretty damn close to it. He's
usually
getting up there.
Jason usually gets about 6 or 7 victims a movie, maybe.
Yeah.
He's already killed like 12 people. I mean, I'm loving it.
He gets around somehow a 38 to 50 foot rabbit kills 12 people in this tiny town, and nobody knows.
Of varying height. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
Because it just depends on who was doing the screen overs those days.
He's able to lumber around this area, kill all these people, and nobody fucking noticed up to this point. And so Kylo sees him. He freaks the fuck out. All right. He hauls ass back to the station, and he gets in there, and he's trying to tell everybody in the station that there's a giant rabbit, and they need to.
He's running up and down the street yelling, "Bunny!"
And it's the apocalypse.
It's a giant bunny. It's apocalypse.
Well, no, he does that after. First, what he does is goes back to the station to tell everybody that there's a rabbit. Nobody believes him. But there's this scene where he's in the middle of all of the dog catchers, and it's going around. The camera's going around to different dog catchers. And then we noticed that in one shot behind some dog catchers, there's members of the crew that didn't get out of the way of the camera.
Oh, God, that was awesome and hilarious.
Yeah, we paused it.
You had to back it up. That's right. And then you see the sound check ladies back there.
The sound check lady with the headphones over her head, and then the strap which goes down to the sound box.
Awesome. That is so
she's
awesome.
She's in the shot for like 2 seconds.
And so's, I think, the grip, the guy in the back with the microphones and shit. Yep, oh my God, that was funny.
They didn't even bother to even check to see if they were in the shot. So then there's this 5-minute fucking long scene of him talking about the apocalypse coming, and there's a rabbit, and we need to go do something. Nobody fucking believes him, of course, because he's a fucking psychopath.
This is literally like going down the highway at 80 miles an hour and pulling the steering wheel off a car, and it just veers off the road and starts shooting across the field. This movie has totally lost its way.
Yeah, and not in a good way, because sometimes when a movie loses its way, it can be really fun.
Yes.
And funny and different and crazy, but this movie goes from doing that to losing its way to the point where it's trying to actually have a plot, and it's
like
terrible.
You said, yeah, they shouldn't have done it. They had a high concentration of funny kills, then they lull you in, and then you start going to sleep. And then they come back with a little climax of the final battle against the bunny.
They try to have
they shouldn't have done
development.
It. They really shouldn't have done it.
No,
not in this case.
No, especially because by the time they get to the point where the movie starts to really slow down, you're literally halfway through.
Yeah.
And so
it has no right being an hour and a half long. I'm sorry.
That's usually when a movie starts to ramp up for the big last half. And this movie literally goes downhill at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all these scenes of after that, all these scenes of Kylo running around trying to tell people in the town there's a giant rabbit, and they're supposed to. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny or just whatever, but I just don't care. Like it's a scene he goes up on a preacher preaching in the middle of the park, but I don't even fucking care, so I'm not gonna give it time of day to talk about that bullshit because it doesn't make any fucking sense, and it's unnecessary and just extends the movie out.
It does. It's right.
There's 5 minutes of him running around the town yelling at people about the rabbit. It's fucking padding. It's all padding. This is one of the sections of the movie they added to pad the movie out to 90 minutes.
Exactly. And there was no call for this. He's on some guy's door banging. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" He's like, "Get off my porch or I'm gonna beat your fucking head in."
Yeah.
You know, and that.
Yeah. And right now we're running way over an hour, so we need to hurry up and cut this fucking thing short.
Yeah.
So he gets tackled by a bunch of townsfolk and thrown in the insane asylum. The mayor's having another press conference talking about how the ceremonies, the festival's still going on, and that everything's still fine, and the deaths were still caused by electric tools that were used by the Amish. They use the devil's tools.
Why didn't the rabbit attack the press corps?
Yeah, they should have had the rabbit.
I mean, they're
show
standing
up
out there prime, especially that one big bitch in the front, man. That's a meal right there.
That's a lot of meat right there. Yeah, a rabbit can hibernate for a long time on that meal.
Yep.
So we're just the last. What are we at? We're the last like fucking 20 minutes of the movie. 15 minutes of the movie are
we
just
start to fucking now what I think that is they start the actual Easter celebration of some sort.
Yeah, it's a festival.
They're out in the park, and here comes a rabbit cutting across the field, and I get my this is a stupid kill, but it's funny, so it kind of starts to bring things back up to a tolerable level. The rabbit stomps on the mayor, and the blood splatter is a superimposed peace sign on the ground.
It is fucking glorious.
Yeah, it is glorious.
It is great. I love the fact that he died in a fucking peace sign bloodbath.
I'm just glad that he died, period, because it was fucking annoying.
Yeah. So the rabbit stomps on a few more people. He stomps on one dude, turns him into chopped liver or something.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, the way that this rabbit is like super extra dimensional powers. He's
got some kind of Mortal Kombat shit working for him.
Yeah,
his victims explode, go in several different directions.
He every time he kills, the victim dies in a different way. Even though the kill is the same way, the victim dies in a different way.
Well, let's just end the pain. So Brenda gets Kylo retard dressed up in a carrot suit.
Gets him out of the insane asylum, puts him in a suit, but not before going to her dad's house to get a gun from his collection.
A mega shotgun. Now, this guy has an arsenal that I would be proud to own.
Yeah, he's got a lot of guns, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she grabs a big ass 12 gauge, goes gets Kylo the retard out of the loony bin, puts him in a carrot suit, and makes him run around the town as bait.
It's like a goddamn Bugs Bunny cartoon.
It is stupid as shit.
It's so fucking funny. Well, and poor Kylo is still hopped up on drugs, so he's like having all these fucking like hallucinations, and like he's talking to himself, and he looks like a white cracked out Rastafarian in that fucking hat.
Yes, he does. He is all fucked up.
He's got this green hat.
He gets the attention of the rabbit. So the rabbit gives chase, of course, walking 2 miles an hour, but yet staying right on his ass. Brenda's up on the roof with this cannon, which would fucking dislocate her arm,
break her shoulder.
Shot it.
Yeah, it would break her shoulder.
Well, anyway, rabbit corners him. She squares off on him with a shotgun, shoots him like 3 times, and the rabbit just falls dead.
He's dead. And then she comes off the roof. They're looking at the rabbit,
and literally they sit there and go, "I wonder what made the rabbit so big."
And
I'm not shitting you. They sit there and they just stare.
Do the entire
for
end
like
credits.
2 minutes, and then the credits start, and they sit there just staring. And you're hoping at the end of the credits we're going to hear what happened.
Yeah.
Are they going to say something?
Is there an Easter egg scene or something?
Nothing.
No. The entire end credits is them just staring at the fucking rabbit. That's it.
Yep.
In the movie. Yeah.
That's it. Thank God. Yes, we trimmed some fat because it got to be too ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to this. Straight up, the acting, there was none.
Yeah.
Of course there wasn't any.
No.
The effects were laughingly and hilariously pathetic. The blood effects were lame as fuck. But the comedy element to this movie and the utter stupidity, it lifted it up. Like I said, I could get past that middle part. It was hard to watch.
Yeah,
so when you get to about 40 minutes, you might want to fast forward about 20 minutes.
Yeah, you won't miss
until
too much.
You won't miss much. Just a bunch of useless dialogue.
Stop for the kills in between there. But
absolutely.
Otherwise, fast forward it.
Fast forward. I actually am going to give this glorious Easter masterpiece. I'm going to give this one 2 turds.
2 turds.
This one's a must watch.
Yeah.
You've got to see it. I was going to give it 1, but that lull in the middle kind of killed it for me.
Gotcha.
If it had been just kill after kill after kill,
yeah,
I'd have definitely gone a 1 turd with this one. So I'm giving it a strong 2 turds. This one you want to you want to watch it with your friends, play a drinking game of some sort. Maybe every time the bunny kills somebody, or
that's a lot of drinks,
or you see rescue titties. Because there's plenty of those.
It's only in the first half, though, so after that, you're not drinking again.
You might have to you might have to drive home.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Good point.
You never know.
Good point.
So that's my assessment. 2 turds. What about you, brother?
Turds. You know, this movie fails at everything it does, but I legit feel like it failed on purpose. Because, my God, the rabbit puppet on the green screen superimposed into the movie is fucking beautiful.
Oh,
Just
it is
beautiful.
It'll be posted.
The scene at the end where it's chasing Kylo Retard, like it's actually bouncing, and you can tell somebody's holding the doll, and it's like a kid when a kid plays with a toy, and the way it moves, it's just like that, and it's so fucking awesome because it's supposed to be in an alleyway on a street, and it you can tell it's not. And the way the rabbit eats people, the way the rabbit moves, the fact that its arms are stiff the entire time and its hands and fingers never move, it's fucking glorious. And
it is.
Yes, the plot gets in the way of the movie sometimes, and there's some extra long scenes where there's character development that just would matter if we actually cared about the characters, but we don't.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Even the ones that weren't bad looking.
No. And I love the fact that the beginning of the film went from nasty crackho being killed, and then eventually each one was a little bit less terrible.
Yes.
To look at.
A little less ghoulish.
Yeah, until you got to low calorie Salma Hayek, who wasn't too bad. And I just the script was so funny because I think it was so purposely bad because nobody ever talks like that in real life.
No, they don't.
Ever. And the inconsistency of the size of the rabbit. I fucking love this movie. I love this movie. I'm giving this a 1.
All right.
This is a 1. I fucking love this movie. This movie is it's such a treat. You know, because it's a fucking Easter holiday themed giant killer rabbit movie. How often do you say those words together?
Not very often, brother.
And not only that, but like it doesn't. It tries to over-explain a lot of things in this movie, but it never explains where the fuck the rabbit came from, which I love. Yeah. I love that mystery. It just shows up. It just fucking shows up.
It's like Godzilla.
Yeah. This movie is fucking great. It's a 1. I'm going to keep it in my queue, and I'm going to make my friends watch it over and over.
Hell yeah.
So,
well, I mean, at least the good parts.
Yeah, at least the good parts, yeah.
It's like I said, you know that 20-minute or so block you can fast forward through, and the rest of the movie's definitely worth it.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
All right, James, so happy Easter.
Happy Easter, brother.
Happy Easter to you guys out there. James, you want to tell them where they can find us and where we're at and all that stuff and social media?
Well, right now we on lockdown, bitch. But you know what? That's all right.
It's coronavirus.
But hey, we coming out here to do a show for you folks.
That's right.
I've braved the elements to cross town and come over here and do the show.
He is a rebel. It says, fuck it, I'm going over anyway.
Fuck the rules.
That's right.
All right. Well, anyway, we are proud members of the fourthhand.com network. If you go there, there's lots of great shows, lots of great people, and you'll also find our other project there, State of Fear. We are also on Facebook under What the Suck, and we are on Instagram under What the Suck. And we told Twitter to go to hell a long time ago because it's bullshit.
Is your friends list on Facebook filled up yet?
Almost.
All right, guys.
I think I'm about to 4,700.
All right, guys. You better get in there quick before it fills up. So where can they find you, James?
Now, my Facebook page, I'm James E. Bishop III, and I am James Bishop III on Instagram.
All right. You heard it, guys. Go add him as a friend before it fills up, because otherwise you'll be left out in the dark.
It's all right. I might throw some other bitches out.
Ah, damn. That means me too. So,
like I said, you can find us anywhere that podcasts are sold.
Sold? They ain't sold. they're downloaded.
Hey, you know how you say, anywhere your such and such are sold. Your
Anywhere
Anyway.
a giant rabbit will kill a bitch. That's where you'll find the podcast.
You can find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify.
All over the place.
CastBox.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Just go look. Chris has done
go-
a great job of getting us out there. We're everywhere.
Go rate, go review,
Please.
go 1 star, 2 star, whatever you want to give us. Just give us a review. I don't care if it's a shitty one. I at least want to know someone out there is listening.
Yes.
Yes, please. So
We love to know what we're doing good, what we're doing bad, because we're coming to the end of season 2, and we may rethink and revamp a little bit. You never know.
So,
And just keep it fresh, keep it new, do something crazy. You never know.
but let us know you're listening, you motherfuckers.
Absolutely, you
Uh,
damn Easter egg hunting ass.
You giant rabbit motherfucking crack hoe killing bitch. We love y'all. We love all y'all.
Love you guys.
Speaking
man.
of which, guys, be safe. Be smart. Don't go anywhere unless you have to. Don't think and don't worry about yourself getting the corona. Worry about you accidentally giving it to somebody who's elderly.
That's right.
That's the most important thing about this whole, stay in your home, social distancing thing. It's not trying to keep you from getting it. It's trying to keep those who are immunocompromised and just elderly from getting it, because they have to go out shopping too.
That is true.
They have to get their essentials, and you don't run a risk going out to getting it every time you go out. They do.
Just be safe. Be smart.
Be smart. Yes.
Absolutely.
Stay safe. Stay hopeful. Stay the fuck away from others.
That's right. And stay away from me, motherfuckers.
That's right. So
until this shit's blown over. That's
right. And we'll still be doing this.
You damn right.
Every fucking week. So just show up here. Oh, just a quick announcement. We had an episode before this one. We'll have one more episode after this one. We're getting near the end of our season 2. After that, we are going to go to bi-weekly episodes, because our other project, State of Fear, requires a bit more editing and post-production to keep the quality up at what it is now.
And a bit more intelligence.
And so in order to do that, we have to move this one to twice a week so that we can keep the
Twice
State of
a week.
Fear.
Back it up, fool.
My bad. Once every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks.
So we can keep State of Fear weekly. So we're still doing this. There's still a shit ton of movies we haven't watched yet.
That's right.
We got like 6,000 episodes we can probably do with this
Oh,
motherfucker.
God almighty, yes. But like I said, that's why we want you to rate and give us
subscribe.
Give us a comment.
And review.
Subscribe. Sure, please.
And give us money.
Because we've received
show your
lots
titties.
we've seen. Hey, you ain't gonna hear no argument from me.
No,
I'm
you're
single
not.
as fuck. Go ahead. But anyway, hope y'all have a great holiday. Happy Easter. Praise the Lord. He is risen.
Hallelujah.
My name is James, and if it ain't on What the Suck, it ain't shit.
And my name is Chris, and I will see y'all at the next Shit Fest.
Peace.
Deuces.
You've been listening to a Fourth Hand Joint.